Hey fam, welcome to another episode of Good, Bad, and Ugly about real estate with Jose. I have an awesome guest for you today, good friend of mine, Bad Ass Boss Jenn.
What's up?
What's going on? How are you
Hey,
doing?
I'm excellent. Little good, little bad, little ugly. It's what we do in real estate, right? We know
That's
this.
right. That's right. That's what we're here for. So, for the audience, me and Jenn, we've known each other for a little bit. She was my
chest,
whoa,
feet, and even down.
hold on.
I
That
don't know
was
if I was that for you, but hey, I'll take it.
we were accountability partners in owners club, taking care of some business, doing our homework. She is excellent at time management, time blocking. So picked her to be my partner so that we can make sure I get her done. So, but this isn't about me. This is about her. So Jenn, please, for the audience, share a little bit about yourself, your journey in real estate, why you chose real estate, because that's what they want to know.
All right. Well, first and foremost, thank you. I'm so grateful and honestly honored. Like, we are in an elite club and mastermind together, and I learned so much from you on the daily. So I'm just honored to be here and share my knowledge and experiences. I think so. What it comes down to is real estate. That's I don't think anyone chooses to be in it. I think people want to get into it, and then you kind of find your way in real estate, and that's what I've done. I did it because I wanted to do it, and I just thought it was something unattainable. And now I've been doing it for almost 25 years, and so I just started. And that's why I tell everybody, I'm like, just start in real estate, because that's what it all comes down to. You can overthink it. And I am a nerd. I overthink a lot of things, except for probably the most costly, which are the most expensive real estate transactions. I'll just buy those suckers. I'm like, I got it. And I think that's what makes me super knowledgeable and a good advocate for getting people in real estate, is because I've learned the lessons. I've learned the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I got into real estate just buying houses, just wanting to buy them. I fix them up to live in them, and then I'd sell them. And I just did a perpetual process, and then started doing multiple at a time, and then buying multifamily, and then getting into buying businesses, and then creatively. So it's definitely an evolution of my experience.
So let me ask you this question, because you talked
Mhm.
about investing and doing fix and flips. Did you start
Yes,
off actually getting real estate that way? Because I know that you do mortgages, or
I do.
so did you start? Where did you start? Was it investing in the properties, or did you start being a mortgage? Uh, it's not a broker.
I'm a
Do you
broker.
consider
Yeah,
yourself
so
a
I'm a
broker?
licensed broker. Yeah, so that's a perfect term. Basically, you're just a licensed originator is what we say. Like, we can originate legally. There's a lot of originators out there, but
Sure.
legally, I'm federally licensed. You have to have a federal license, and then you have to be licensed by each and every state. So super important. But yes, that I am. I actually was recruited. I was running businesses. I'd already done a fix and flip and worked on a second one before I even heard of mortgage. So I was recruited into mortgage. And to be quite honest, by then we'd purchased 2 properties, and I'd just done the traditional route. I had no idea about loans or mortgage. I just signed my life away. And I was like, whatever, this is. And then one of my really good friends, which is still to this day, one top 1% women originator in the country. She's phenomenal. We had been childhood friends. We went to middle school together, and I was looking to move back to my hometown to get my firstborn child around his cousins to grow up. And so we were just talking just as friends, and she said, "Hey Jenn, you should come, help me with my mortgage business." And I'm like, "Dude, like, I don't know anything about mortgage. I don't know what you're talking about." Because at this point I was running companies. I was actually running an import export manufacturing company of food, like nothing to do with mortgages. And so long story short, I flew out, I looked at the business, and it actually correlated very similar to what I was doing, because it was just rules, guidelines. And so I moved back. She gave me an opportunity, and I just ran with it. And it just became addicting to me, because I got to see the guts of what it takes in real estate, what it takes in banking, what it takes to make dreams happen. That's really where it goes. Like, I just got addicted to helping people. And really, that's where I started. She put me on a task of her team, because I love the guidelines. I love the meat of it. I didn't really love the selling part. I wasn't that one where I was going out and selling. I got what we called saved loans. So a person would be declined by another bank or another lender or another broker, and they would pop over to us. and I would read all the guidelines and then I'd fix it. And we'd be able to help these people close. So I got really addicted to understanding why something didn't work and then pulling it over and making it work. And I didn't realize at the time, because I mean, that's almost 15 years ago, that I was actually doing that in real estate too. I was finding these houses and I was like, oh, but I could do this and this and get, turn it into where it doesn't work right now and make it work. And so I think it was simple for me to do mortgages. And it really came down to I was really able to help people. And the people that were told no, that were literally told their face, you don't qualify, you can't qualify because you're self-employed, all the BS that we still hear to these days, those are the clients that I help. And I continue to help because I'm passionate about it, because there is always a way. I mean, Jose, you know me because I'm that person, but there is always a way, you guys, I tell you. And as a progression over 15 years in real estate and especially mortgage, that is the truth. There is, so many different lenders. There's so many different loans. And loans include types. You can do private money, hard money. There's so many in our world that, of course, Jose will get into, I'm sure, but that you probably didn't know about. I didn't even know about them until I really got into this world. So yeah, that's how it all started. I just got recruited and then I got tagged. And then 15 years later, I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm still helping people. I'm taking much more of the investor route. I've built a massive team to help me with my lending aspect of the company that I own, so that way we can help people. So that's where it started. No, I don't think anyone ever says, I want to be a loan officer or a mortgage originator, because you guys, the industry is ruthless. Like,
Right.
it's so hard. You compete with everybody. No matter what I do right, I'm the a-hole in the whole scenario. I'm always the one that's wrong. And I work the hardest, and out of everyone, real estate agents and lenders get paid the least, and we're the ones that are beat up the most. It's ironic, but that's how it works.
So I just want to set the rules here. I know who you are. If you need to let it loose, let it loose. These are all adults, and if they get offended, well, you know what? So be it.
I
But
know.
Jenn,
I will keep it in check. But for if one does slide, please, everyone know I'm a truck driver. I definitely speak how it is, but I also love to relate to everyone, and so I will keep it on the down low, I think I'll say, as far as keeping my F bombs to myself, because that is definitely my favorite word.
awesome. So
Mhm.
besides being the go-to person in the mortgage industry, because
Mhm.
you became known for being able to find
Yeah.
the yes for a lot of people. Um, how you said that you really didn't know, you just kind of bought stuff. So how did you learn that process, right? Because most people really don't know how to buy a home, let alone how to go about affording to fix a home. You said that you bought homes to um, where they didn't work when you bought them, but you knew that you could find a way to make them work. So, can you kind of walk us through how you first learned the process of acquiring a property and funding it, and then two, name some of the ways that you say, okay, well, when I bought this, it didn't work for X, Y, Z, but if I knew if I did this, um, I knew I could get it to where it is beneficial to me and whoever is on my team.
Yeah. I love this question because I think this is where 90% of people sit is, how do you start? Where do you start? Why do you start? And for me, literally, it was just, I wanted to accomplish buying something. To me, buying a house was untouchable because I didn't come from money. I didn't come from things. My parents had owned a house. I came from a divorced, ugly scenario. And I met my now husband, and we just had a goal. Like, we did it backwards. We bought a boat first and then a truck. And then we decided, okay, well, now we'll buy a house because we really wanted to live and play. That's what we wanted to do. We rented an apartment, and I really wanted to do something that was untouchable to me. And so I always had that fire to say, like, okay, well, this is untouchable. I'm in my 20s. People were saying you shouldn't do it. It was, not interest rates at that time were high. I mean, we were at 8-9% in interest rates. So everyone listening to that, that's where I started. But I wanted it. So I did what we don't have now is I did research. I went and be like, okay, well, what would be the best way to start buying a house if I were to get one? And I read that, okay, well, you should be in a good area for schools. And is it close? I just literally looked at those things. And then I personally drove to those neighborhoods and said, I could see myself living here. And I put myself in the situation of like, okay, I want to do this. So that's step one. figuring out why, where, and how. Like, okay, why would I live here? Why does it make a difference that I live here? Because, and I still advocate for this today in my business, is there's always an exit. I understand very clearly that um, a lot of people go into the buying their house that it's their forever house. I promise you, it is not forever. It will not be forever. And I just always had that inside. It's probably from growing up again and not the best house and not the best childhood scenario. We moved a lot. So to me, that wasn't like, it wasn't normal not to move. Like you just moved, which is what you did. And so when I bought a house, that was my only thing I started. And then the next step was, okay, I want to do this. And then you go and like, okay, well, you need to go alone. At that time, my first house was a townhouse that my husband and I bought, and we bought it for $180,000 was what we bought it for. And I was like, wait, well, how do we get a loan for this? Like, how do we don't have $180,000 and we're young and we save money. And so I, again, did the same thing. I started asking questions. And then all of a sudden I had loan officers like, oh my gosh, yeah, you don't even have to have any money down. You could get a second to cover your closing costs. And I was like, what? You can do this? There's like all these options. And that's how it started. I just asked questions and I put myself in the places that I could ask questions. And I'll be honest, the first time no one around me was doing this. So I just went to people that I thought were knowledgeable. And at that point, they probably didn't give me the best advice, but I did it anyways. Like I went to a big local bank. Someone said, just go down to your local bank. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go down this big bank. Probably worst scenario ever, but it worked. Like it got me to the point of what I wanted. So I ended up buying my first townhouse and we bought it for, again, like $189,000. We had a first that was like 8.97% for our first. We had an adjustable second mortgage that covered that. And we ended up only having to come in with, I think a little bit less than 3% down is what our first price was, which was doable. I'm like, okay, we can save this money. And it gave me an opportunity. And honestly, even at that point, I did not care. I didn't care about an interest rate. I didn't care the adjustable second. Like I literally didn't care. I'm like, I just want this house. I want to get in here because it gives me an opportunity to get something I couldn't have. That's all I cared about. So if you're out there and wondering, like, how do I start? Where do I start? Like, first and foremost, where do you want to be? Focus on where do you want to be and is a good place to be to sell. And then secondly, be around people like me, like Jose in our community, like ask the questions about lending because there's so many options out there to help people with getting into your home. And you guys, if you can, start with a primary, even if it's a duplex and you live in one of the units. That I wish I would have known that because that's the best way to invest is because now you're getting rental income. I didn't do that for probably 10 years. I bought primaries. I bought them. We fixed them up. We sold them for profit. I also went through the downturn. I was there 10, 11, 12. We lost one of our houses. We bought multiple houses and we literally, this is a great thing to share is we, the housing crashed. And so what our value was a quarter of what it was worth. And it was a rental property. We had already bought another primary and we literally called the bank. We're like, what do we do? Like what do you want us to do? And the bank's like, stop paying. They literally said, and this was common back then, just don't pay, don't pay. Well, we didn't believe in that. And so we went and hired a lawyer and we paid money to a lawyer and said, lawyer, what do we do? And the lawyer said the same thing. You have to stop paying. There's the only thing you could do. And so we ended up going through a short sale, which at that time was devastating, but in long term was the best learning decision ever because I could understand what it was like to make a business decision and say, okay, well, we have not me, higher level. We're paying a lawyer and the actual lender is telling us to do this. Even though it's wrong, we did it. And when we went to the short sale process, which if you don't know what that means, you guys, it means we had a mortgage balance and we sold it for less than what that balance was, which was actually great because the mortgage company just had insurance anyway. So nobody lost money except for now I know in the future, the consumers were the ones that paid for everything. They just taxed us more. But that was a great learning experience. And I didn't let it slow me down. I said, okay, well, lesson learned. Oh my gosh, this happened to be a townhouse in an HOA. And why we ended up losing that house is the HOA went under. Someone stole all the money from the HOA.
Oh,
And
wow.
we had, I know, and that's super common. HOAs are almost always messed up. The budgets are always off because people steal. But it had streets that you had to maintain. They weren't wide enough for the city to take care of. So there's a big lesson. Look at the property you're buying. So now I was like, oh man, now I know if I'm going to buy a property, I'm going to make sure that this HOA doesn't I handle all the burden of streets and sidewalks and lighting. I mean, we had to pay for everything in this little community. And so that was a great lesson. It was a hard one, but it was a good lesson. And it's made me super successful in now moving forward to buy multiple properties and understanding what I'm buying. And again, how do you sell it? How do you get out of it? And the worst case thing, what happens if it changes? What happens if the world ends? Because I get that all the time. Well, Jen, you have all these properties. What's going to happen? I'm like, I've already been through this. You know what happens? People rent because they can't buy. I've already been through it. I had people knocking down my door. Can I rent it? Can I rent it? Can I rent it? Because
Yeah.
at that point, I don't care how much equity you have. And I deal with this a lot. People are like, I have so much equity, but I can't touch it because I can't qualify to get a HELOC. I can't do anything with it. So guess what happens? They lose it. So life happens, you guys. And it's all we can do is be there to help people and understand that. You have to understand that life happens. There'll always be renters. So, I mean, Jose, I my goal is 150 properties per year. I do that not for me, but I do it to help others because there's so many people that cannot qualify, and loans are stupid. I'll be quite honest. That's why I hate loans, because they're dumb. Like the guidelines and rules for most people are ridiculous. Self-employed borrower, cool. You own a business, you have all these expensive. The IRS says go ahead, write them off, and the lender says, oh, it's too bad you wrote everything off, which IRS and the government totally said you could. But we're going to say no. We're going to say, no, 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 you can't do that. Now
Right.
you don't qualify. You make great money. You took a benefit that the government told you should do and advised you properly on your taxes. And now as a lender, I'm going to say no. Like, that's crazy to me. So that's why I do it. And then I do a lease option. I give them the option to buy it within 3 to 5 years. And the cool thing about this option is they lock in with me at this date. Like they're going to buy this property from me. I'm going to give them, and then I'm going to help them get to that qualifying piece because I'm a lender. I know all the silliness about it. And inevitably, I had a phone call with a portfolio owner today. Inevitably, it's a game that you have to play, you guys. Whether you like it or not, I don't like it. You have to play the credit game. You just have to. And so, if we can teach people how to play the credit game, which just means you use it like a bank account, your credit cards are just to build a stupid score, a FICO score. That's all they're for. And really, that's it. Don't use it for anything else. And I advise people on how to do that. So they buy a property from me, they get it at today's value, and then the option is now their credit is good. They have opportunity to buy anything else in the world, and 90% of the time they're investing with me again. We're buying more stuff together. So that's stage 2 is understand how you get the property. And once you're in the property, surround yourself with people that are doing that, buying properties, understanding it, because then you're in a network, just like Jose and I are in this network. We get to now be around great people that have more knowledge and expertise in areas we don't, and we get to work with these people. So everything to do with investing in real estate and anything you do, whatever you're passionate about, surround yourself with the people that are passionate about it too, and you'll succeed. If you're going to stay in the same room with people that don't believe in what you believe, you won't go anywhere. I'm fortunate because I'm a big a-hole. So when people are like, well, I don't, like even my husband had a hard time. He's like, we can't do this. And I'm like, okay. So then I just went and bought it myself. I'm like, it's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm telling you, it's going to work. But if you don't trust me, let me show you. I'll show you the way. And here we are. And now he's very happy because he's got a lot of properties, and it worked out very well.
See, sometimes it's just a matter of mindset, right? Just do
It
it.
is. Yeah. And a lot of people don't have that mindset. So you have to be around the room that has that mindset. And it's okay. I have days where I reach out, like we have great community in our community. I reach out to Brian Madison. He's in our group. And I seriously, I like Brian because we're so similar. I think we're related. It's some way down the train and in our family line. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I think I'm crazy. I don't think I'm doing this. I don't think I'm good enough today. Like, what's happening? And he's like, yes, you are. You've got it. I'm like, okay, I've got this. I can do it. So we're all there. If you're watching this and you believe that we're perfect and we're podcasting and everything's pretty, I promise you we have days that we're not. We're questioning what we're doing. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? But we have a great community. Like I have an accountability partner. Josie got me through everything that I had to get done for the homework. And then you have to lean on people because they believe in what they're doing and they believe in what you're doing. So I can't advocate for that enough because that's hard to find. And I've yet to find it until this last year with you guys. So super grateful.
So, quick question, because I
Mhm.
don't think I've ever asked you this question.
Uh,
I mean, we're both in Owners Club. Were you ever in any kind of like community or mentorship prior to getting into the Owners Club Sub 2 community?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I can say that so in the mortgage community, we have high level coaching. And so I paid for core coaching, which is very expensive monthly, like $2,500 a month. Like, so you're paying $15,000 a year to have a coach tell you and yell at you, and you should make these calls and you should do this. And it works. So I'm used to being in a coaching program. And then when I get into real estate, I joined Arate with some very predominant people on how to run businesses and how to continue a business going. And there's lots of different ones I've been in. So I was very familiar with the structure of community. And so when I say that there's nothing like this, I truly 1,000%, you guys, there's nothing like this. Like the mortgage community, we're all together, we're advocating for each other, and we would be ruthless to each other. People would steal your deals, they'd steal your clients, they'd steal your employees. That's not a community. And so that was really hard to be trained. And that was my first community to be in. And then to leave that and go into a better side of the world, but it's still ruthless. It's still, no one really cares. I couldn't call anyone in any other group and be like, hey, I'm struggling today. I just don't know if this is going to work. I've got, 10 properties and blah, 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 blah. In this community, I can do that. I feel comfortable enough to where I'm like, oh my gosh, these people truly invest in me. And they really do. And that is nowhere else. What we have is unsought, and I'm grateful for it. And the moment I entered into it, I really understood that was worth every single dollar. And this is just in our community. Now, Owners Club is just in a different level. It's even, I'm so grateful for it. And people ask all the time because my team gets to see like, oh my gosh, and you spent a lot of money on this. I'm like, if I'm not spending this money on me, I can't give you the best of the best. Like I'm putting myself in these rooms to
Yeah.
be with billionaires. And people forget that. They think that you're just going to do it on your own, and maybe you are, maybe you're amazing. That's just not me. I have to be around that energy and see that these rooms, that these literally these billionaires are having the same issues and same questions that I'm having. It makes me feel like, okay, we're all human, we're all in the process. I'm just grateful that these people have laid a path for me. They've gone through things that I'm just going through, so I can see them. And what other world do we live in that you can be in those type of groups? Like, I mean, for Owners Club that we're in, could you
Right.
imagine going somewhere else and being able to hear what these multi-billionaires say and what they're doing? It's unheard of. It's just
Or be invited to their house and just hang out.
yes. Yeah. And I mean, again,
Yeah.
like I've been to lots of these things, and I knew million and barely there's never been to their house. It was always a retreat. It was never personal if you weren't their buddy or their, I always call them sororities, or, in your fraternity, if you weren't part of their clique, then you weren't included. And now we have
Right.
a leader of Owners Club that we're all the same. And the favorite statement that I've learned over the last year is they're just leading the way, because everyone has FOMO. Like I'm the fear of missing out. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I should be farther. I should be doing more. Why can't I do this? But then it's like you sit back and like, no, this person is nailing it. They are guiding me to this path. They're doing all the things that I can't do right now because I'm doing this. I'm building this team. I'm building this business. But they will lead it for me, and I'll know how to, enact, and I can call them and say, hey, Jose, you're killing it in this. What is your suggestion for me to get there? Can you show me the way? Can you help me get there? And you'll be there, and vice versa.
Absolutely. Rain or shine, I'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the things I like to ask my guests when they come on is to share one of their most positive stories in their journey, and then also share, of course, with the title, one of their like nightmare stories. Because I mean, you've been around this around a long time, so I'm sure you have plenty of stories. But just pick one or two that kind of stand out, something that you feel like you've learned a lot from.
Okay. Let's always start with a nightmare, because nightmares are easier to remember. It gives me some time to pick out the good one. Because why is that? Like the nightmare stories are like 3%, and we have
Right.
this 97% of goodness, but we like that 3% sticks with us forever.
Sure
So
enough.
I do have quite a few because I put myself in, I'm a goer. But I think like one of the worst scenarios I've been in is I was trying to help this family. They were just about to go foreclosure. It was an older lady. Her husband had passed away. Her mom had bought her house. Her son was living with her. Her son was like locking her in this room.
Oh
So
wow.
it was just crazy. And so this is for a fix and flip. So I had gotten someone in my community would say, hey, Jen, let's help this lady. So me and this gentleman went to this lady. She was in dialysis. We'd go to her dialysis with her. We'd ask her questions. How do we help? So we end up, and then talking to her mom that owned the house. Like, we went through this 3-month process with these people and helping them. And the whole goal was like, how do we help? We paid our personal money to fly her across the country to be with her family, to get her out of the bad scenario she was in. So we go through this whole thing, you guys, open title, lots and lots of money spent. And then once she gets over with her family, the family figures out that she's doing this, and they take over, and they just basically cut her out. And so she's got no money, and they're truly going to just let the house foreclose. Like, they don't care. And so I think that is a horrific story, because we had every intention of truly helping somebody, and somebody else came in and thought that they could benefit. So they did. And so I think it's really disheartening for me. And I unfortunately have been through it a few times, but the partner that was working with me, this was one of his first, and he's just destroyed. He couldn't believe that someone he'd given so much time and energy to would do that to him. And that's an unfortunate scenario. So I think that that's one of the horror stories, and the lesson with it all is, it's going to happen, you guys. I don't ever give up. I still, we've done certain liens on the property so they can sell it. We've communicated. We will continue to help them. Like, I won't let it go. We're still going to try our best to do it and help this person, because again, it's not for us. It literally will go to her. But keep that in mind. There's going to be bad stuff that happens.
Right.
And then on the other side, since I am a lender, I lent money to, someone I really trusted, and they just left the country. And so I got stuck with, a lend that I lent somebody quite a bit of money to, and I lost that money. So that's another good lesson, you guys. If you're going to lend something to somebody, I broke a rule that I knew, and this was probably 8 years ago now. It's been a long time, that I trusted somebody because we were friends, and I did not do my due diligence. I didn't secure it against a property. I didn't do what I should, and I lost money, and the only one I'm mad about that is me, because I made a mistake. I'm like, I should have known better. Right. So those are the two good horror stories. Now, I think one of my favorite stories to share, and I've shared this a few times, is our community, like being able to have someone give me a deal and say, hey, I think this is a good deal. Can you check it out? Me being able to come in to my area, because I only buy in the areas I know, buy the property, get it, help the sellers out, and help the wholesaler out, because it was a wholesaler. The wholesaler made a lot of money. And then helping the sellers out. And then I was able to take the property, fix it, make a great profit. I made my private investors money. Everyone in this deal made money, and it was really just from truly helping somebody. This seller had to leave, and so they were selling their property for like pennies on the dollar, and the investor that wanted it was afraid of it because it was in a very unique area. And so being able to come to me and say, hey, Jen, do you know this area? And say, yeah, I got this. I'll take it. And still being able to pay that person in our community an assignment fee is epic. I think that's a true story of everyone in the community coming together, doing what they do best. And I was able to help me make money, investors make money. The seller got to move because their family was passing away and it was super important. They got to go. The wholesaler brought me a deal. He made money. Like, pretty much everybody made money in the deal. And that's a success story. That should be what it's about. Is in real estate, everyone should be doing what they love. For me, I got to fix and flip. Wholesaler got to sell. Seller got to move, and then I got to make money. So that's a win for that. I would say that's one of my favorite stories. And that just happened a few months ago. So it's amazing.
That's awesome. When we work together, one of the reasons why I wanted you as a partner is because you are great at systems. And some of the people that are watching this, they're like, "Well, I don't know how to get a lead how to generate a lead. Or I don't know how to raise money." One of the things that I thought was unique about you was you have what's it called? I'm not called acronyms, but
CRM.
no, for like money making Mondays, Friday
Oh
flipping.
yeah.
So can you kind of share people how you, I guess it'd be considered time management during the week, so that you
Oh
make
yeah.
sure that you hit everything that you're trying to accomplish, right? Because when you and I worked together, you did a reverse, like, how much do I want to make? How much what do I do to make that? Blah, 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 blah. So I think that's something that people can benefit from. And since you're the one that kind of shared that system or process with me, I'd love for you to share that with everybody else.
Okay, yes, I love this. And so you have to understand what you're doing in order to be successful. So I structure every day. If we think about, and you're getting into real estate, if you think about real estate every single day the same thing, you're never going to be successful. So I literally structure out, I know what I'm going to talk about every single day. So you have money making Mondays, mortgage Mondays, you have sub 2 Tuesdays. And each one of these days I'm talking about that. I'm coaching on that. I'm helping people do that. We have What's Up Wednesdays. We have Owners Thursdays. We have Fix and Flip Fridays. We have Builders and Miscellaneous Saturday and Sundays. And I've been just taught this. This is how you create success is you focus on one area per day and you try not to let other areas come in. So for my calendar, on the top of my calendar is set up on Mondays for money making Mondays or mortgage Mondays. And that's what I'm going to talk about. That's what I'm going to share. And that's going to help people get that portion of their business and real estate investment. If it happens to be money, that's what we're going to focus on. And then Tuesday is going to be Subject Tuesday. Let's talk about creative. Let's talk about all the fun things. And my calendar literally says that starting at 3 a.m. This is what we're going to talk about. And then everything I do within that day, the phone calls I make, the relationships that I'm trying to earn are all based on that. And then I focus on that energy. And then once I've got that, I put all that away. And then I move on to the next day and I'm following up with those people on that specific day. So it does really help when you're entering any kind of real estate because you have to understand I'm very focused on what I'm doing. And then I don't have to worry about this shiny object over here because I know focus on what I'm doing. And your calendar is your life. You have to have a calendar. And I've always had a calendar, but you actually have to follow it. So this was a big learning lesson for me this year is I have a calendar, it's there. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's there. I know it's on it. But I'm so hyper focused on it now that it's ridiculous. Like when somebody calls me, I actually had a client today that said, hey, we have a 2 p.m. appointment. I'm like, no, we don't. It's not on my calendar. And she's like, yeah, I was here. And because I'm all throughout the country, it was just in the wrong time zone. So the calendar is the key component of success in anything you're doing for sure.
Awesome. So you've already shared like all the stuff that you're doing and how you're helping people. Um, what is it that you need for your business? What can somebody bring to you to help bring value to you?
Because I'm grateful that I have a lot of real estate experience, I love working with people. Everything I do, every single deal I have has a partner on it. Whether it's a financing partner, like do you want to start investing in real estate, but you're super overwhelmed on all the things it takes to be in real estate and how to buy it, how to fund it, then just become the money. The money always makes the money. That's what I always tell people. So if you're interested in investing in real estate, but you're not ready for fix and flip and all that goes with it, or owning properties and having renters, because it's a beast. I'll tell you guys, it's not easy. Then
No.
become a lender. Like call me, work with me. You can lend on my properties. We pay you a certain percentage. You get to secure your money against a property that we're going to sell. So for a lot of people, this helps them make money. And it's a key component of success and wealth because you're diversifying. You can still have money in stocks. You can still have a W-2. You can still have all the things that generate money. But now you're taking money, you're investing it in me. You're learning the process. You're understanding where the money goes and how much money you can make. And then you get return on your cash. So that's always what I'm asking of people is, hey, if you want to get started in real estate, invest with me. And you don't have to have a lot of money. I've had people invest. My son, that's 10, invested $900 and he got a 200% return on his money. So there's always a way to start. And so that's super important to me that people come and know that they can do that. And then another thing I love partnering with people on besides the money piece is the real estate. If you find something, my team and I are here to help you. We can buy it together. We can figure out what kind of structure would work. But really it comes down to I want people to partner with me. If it has to do with real estate or funds, come to me. Let's do something together and let's make money together.
Awesome. And if somebody wanted to reach out to you, how would they do that?
I make it real simple, you guys. My website is badassbossjenn.com. I have Gmail because people love Gmail, and it's badassbossjenn@gmail. If you're an Outlook kind of person and you like a Microsoft 365, with Jen at badassbossjenn.com. So really, if you search Badass Boss Jenn, my website will accommodate you to anywhere you want to go. And we really want to make it easy. We help a lot of people that can't get qualified for loans. So you'll see different landing pages of, if you've just ever been denied or told no, call us because we will help you get in there and one of our properties that we purchased. But super simple, Badass Boss Jenn. and you can find me almost anywhere. I always love that. I'm like, go ahead and Google me. I'm pretty sure you can find me. I'm not hard to find. Or what's the saying I would say as a white chick? I'm like, well, I'm easy to find. Take that however you want it.
There you go. So if you guys haven't learned, Jenn is a one-stop shop resource. I mean, she's got
Yes.
mortgages, she's got lending, she's got fix and flip deals. So she's already shared with you that, if you want to get into real estate, she's willing to partner with you. I mean, she partnered with her 10-year-old son for $900. I mean, if you can't afford $900, then you're not really trying. So
Yeah.
that being said, if you're looking to get into real estate and you just happen to be scrolling through YouTube and you found this podcast, reach out to Jenn, tell her what you're trying to do. She'll find a way for you guys to partner up, and she'll find a way for you both to make money. On that note, Jenn, Bad Ass Boss Jenn, thank you so much for being on my show. I appreciate it. It's been wonderful as always, and looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. For everybody, this right here, Squad Up, is here March 29th to the 31st,
We got here.
2025. This event will be, this episode will be shown before then. So that's why I want to make sure I give that little selfish plug that if you really want to get into real estate, this is where you need to go. It's going to be awesome. It's in Dallas, Texas this year. Even if you don't go to the event itself, but just hang out in the halls, you'll still make a lot of networking, meet a lot of people, and potentially doing a lot of deals, because that's pretty much where all the magic happens.
It is. And we're to know the good, bad, and the ugly. Come join us in Texas. You guys, Jose's there. And truly, that's what it's about. The good, the bad, and the ugly about real estate. So come find Jose. We are going to be out there. That is our responsibility for you guys. We are the top tier. We are the owners, and we want to help you guys invest. So yes, please come find us and let us know how we can help you. This is what we are here to do, and we're both passionate about it. So I'm excited to see whoever is there, and there will be a lot of people. So super excited.
Yeah, and a side note, Jenn will be one of the instructors of one of the small group classrooms. You're doing fix and flip.
Yes, I'm going to be hosting that, and I'll be in the hallways. We're doing right across from registration. I'll be there. I'll be there right next to Elite TC. We're having just a welcome booth, so we will be there to just welcome you and let you know who to connect with. I'll have Jose's information with me at all times, so that way he'll be able to, if you're, my job is to align people with the right people, because that's what we're about. So I will be that resource for everyone. It's not about me. It is about how am I giving you the people that you need to be successful in your area. That's super important, and what you want to focus on. So yes, come find me. And even if you can't find Jose, I have all of his information, and I will be gladly handing it out so you can catch up with him even after the event.
Awesome. Thank you for the plug. I appreciate it. Yeah. And till next time, fam, have a good one.
Peace.